So for people watching this on YouTube later, this is chapter 18, quiz 4 of my new book, Overcoming ACT Math by Sophia Garcia. If you're interested in getting it, it's available on Amazon. Make sure you watch the description for any updates I make over time to this video. So let's get started. Number 1 says, a local dentist gives out bouncy balls as prizes for his clients who sit still during their entire teeth cleaning process. His prize drawer has 4 green, 7 yellow, and 10 orange bouncy balls. How many green bouncy balls need to be added to the prize drawer so that the probability of randomly selecting a green bouncy ball is equal to 1/2? Someone asked where they could find the cramming guide. It's right under like my profile picture. There's a series button, and it's the one that says cramming guide. It's also linked in the most recent video I released. So let's see. We want to find the probability of randomly selecting a green ball needs to be equal to 1/2. Okay. And if we're talking about the probability of selecting a green ball, and we want to add some more to make it equal to 1/2, we would say that it's 4 green balls plus the X amount of green balls that we add on would be the chances of picking a green ball out of the total number of chances, which would be the total number of bouncy balls. So that would be 4 plus 7 plus 11 plus the X amount that we add. So 4 plus 7 is 11, plus 10 would be 21. So it would be 21 plus X, the X amount that we add on, and that's going to be equal to 1/2. Thank you for the donut. And then we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to say 2 times 4 plus X has to equal, and then 1 times that just keeps it as 21 plus X. So now let's distribute the 2 to each of our terms inside the parentheses here. So 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times X is 2X, and we're going to say that that's equal to 21 plus X. Now let's get our X's together and our numbers together on either side of the equation. So we're going to subtract X from each side. When we subtract X from each side over here, we're going to get 8 plus X is equal to 21. Now I'm going to subtract 8 from each side, and I'm going to say that if I subtract 8 from each side, X is equal to 13. So X was the number of green bouncy balls we had to add on, which is 13, D. So now let's go to number 2. Anna bought a meal at the food court for a discounted price of $24. If the original price of the meal was $30, then how much was the percent discount? Okay, so let's see. 24 out of 30 is what she's paying. So we could say, well, you could do this 2 ways. I'm going to show you like the first way that came to my mind. So you could say 24 out of 30, that's the amount she's paying after the discount. And then if you times that by 100, you would get that that's equal to 80%. So she's paying 80% of the original price, which means that it was discounted off by 20%. So you could do it like that, or you could say, I want to talk about how much was taken off, the discount, which is $6, and then you could say that that's out of the original price was 30, and then say times 100, and then that would be equal to the 20%. So you could do it like either way works. So let's see, that would be H. So then let's go to number 3. For the triangle shown below, what is the value of sine of X? So sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. If you remember SOHCAHTOA, that's opposite over hypotenuse is sine. So sine of X is going to equal the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the opposite side is this one, and the hypotenuse is this one that's across from the right angle. Now, you could memorize your Pythagorean threes and know that this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. If you didn't automatically know that, you could say 3 squared plus b squared equals 5 squared using Pythagorean theorem, and you would have solved and found that this was 4. But I already know that this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle because Pythagorean triples, it's one of those that you memorize. And so then I'm going to say the opposite side is 4, the opposite of X is 4, and the hypotenuse is 5, so this is equal to 4/5. So it would be C. So, why does it say your cramming guide is unavailable? Where does it say that? It says it's unavailable? I don't know why it says that. It's approved. Is it saying that on TikTok or on Teachers Pay Teachers once you try to download it? Let me know, because that's weird. It should be approved. Okay, so, but I'll look into that afterwards. That's not good. So let's go to number 4. A circular cake has a diameter that is 25 centimeters long. A baker needs to put this cake into a regular cake box that is 12 centimeters tall. The base of the cake box is in the shape of a square. The volume of the cake box, that can fit the specific cake must be at least. It says it's no longer available to purchase. That is so what? That is so odd. Hold on. Let me look that up on my computer, because that's going to bother me if I don't look it up now. Hold on. One second, guys. Thank you for letting me know that. I would have never known. That's so weird. It says posted. So, like, you see how, like, on the thing it says, like, it says it's posted. I don't know why. Like, because you'll see if it's a draft or, like, in review, the status. So that must be, like, an issue with TikTok right now. So, like, maybe check in a little bit. I don't know why it's doing that right now. But it says it's fine on my end. I'll have to look at... I'll contact TikTok and see what's up. And I'll put an update if, like, I figure it out tonight. I'll put an update tonight. So then, let's go to number 4. It says, a circular cake has a diameter that is 25 centimeters long. A baker needs to put this cake into a regular cake box that is 12 centimeters tall. The base of the cake box is in the shape of a square. The volume of the cake box that can fit this specific cake must be at least. Okay, so let's think, so it's a square. So if we're thinking of a square and the circle needs to fit inside the cake box, like this could be the base. And then it says it's 12 centimeters tall and the base is a square. So the base is a square, so that means it has to have the same side lengths on each side. And it says that this is a diameter of 25 centimeters long. So the diameter of this cake, since it's inscribed in the like square base, has to be equal. You see how it's equal to the side length right there? So this would have to be 25, 25, 25 all around. Now, if it's a rectangular cake box, that means to find the volume, it would have to be length times width times height. So that would be 25 times 25 times, and they said the height was 12. So 25 times 25 times 12. So then that's going to be, that would just be, hold on one second, that's K, 7,500 cubic centimeters. Okay, so let's go to number 5. Yeah, let me know if when you refresh it, it works. But thank you for letting me know that. So let's go to number 5. Which of the following is equivalent to all of this? So it looks like from the answer choices that we're just going to take out the greatest common factor. So let's look between the numbers 7 and 7. The greatest common factor is 7, so let's take that out. Oops, I forgot to not put that there. So 7, and then between the x's, the greatest common factor is x, because between x and x squared, x is the greatest common factor. Between y squared and y is the greatest common factor. And then we ask ourselves what's left in parentheses. Well, what's left in parentheses for this part would just be the y. And you can always check it by saying, if I multiply by y, do I get back to that? And you do. And then minus, and then what's left over here would just be an x. And again, you could check that by just multiplying and seeing that you get back to that term over there. So that would be equal to our answer choice D. So let's go to number 6. It says, which of the following is the least positive number that has a remainder of 2 when divided by 5 and a remainder of 3 when divided by 7? Okay, least positive number that has a remainder of 2 when divided by 5. Okay, so a remainder of 2 when divided by 5. So we just kind of have to like plug in and check for this one. So let's start with F, because we're looking for like the least positive number. So we're going to start like least. If it was saying like the greatest, we would start greatest. So we're going to divide by 5 and see, do we get a remainder of 2 here? Well, this is exactly 2. It doesn't have any remainder, so it can't be that one. So now let's go to 14. So for 14, if we divide 14 by 5, do we get a remainder of 2? Well, 5 goes into 14 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. So that's going to have a remainder of 4, not a remainder of 2. So it's not that one. So now we have to go to H, which is saying 17 is this mystery number. So let's divide 17 by 5. And it goes in 3 times. So then 3 times 5 is 15. Minus it would be 2. So we do have a remainder of 2, but let's check the other part. That we get a remainder of 3 when we divide by 7. So let's do 17 divided by 7. Do we get a remainder of 3? Because if we do, then this is the correct answer. So 7 goes into 17. That's going to be 2 times. So then 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract, we get 3. So the remainder is 3 there. That checks out. So it would be H. So let's go to number 7. The mean of 5 numbers is 8. If 4 of the other numbers are 6, 8, 10, and 12, then what is the remaining number? So remember, mean is just all the numbers in a list divided by how many numbers there are. So the mean is 8, and mean is equal to, if we add up all the numbers, which they told us that some of the numbers are 6, 8, 10, and 12, and there's one mystery number that we're solving for. And then we divide by how many numbers we're adding together, which would be 5 numbers. So now if I just multiply each side by 5, I get that that's 40 equals, and then what all of this on top is. So let's start adding that up. 6 plus 8 is going to be 14. 14 plus 10 is 24. 24 plus 12 is going to be 36. So it's going to be 36 plus x. And then we just have to figure out what x is. I mean, you could easily plug that in, but if you want to see the whole algebra way, it's going to be subtracting 36 to get x by itself. And then that's going to be that 4 is equal to x. So A. So then let's go to number 8. John is mixing fruit punch with 400 ounces of water. If the mixture must be no more than 2% fruit punch, what is the most fruit punch powder that he can add to the water? So we need it to have 2% fruit punch. So originally he only has like the water, and then he's mixing it with the fruit punch. So the amount of the fruit punch would be, let's call X. We'll call it X. X over, and then the total of like the water plus the fruit punch, however much you have, is going to be 400 plus however much fruit punch you are adding in. And then if we multiply that by 100, we would get the percent fruit punch, because the top would be the amount of the fruit punch that we have over the total like mixture, which is the 400 water plus the X amount of fruit punch that we add on. And then, so let's see, did I put a plus there? Sorry, that's hard to see. Plus, that's supposed to be a plus. So then that has to all equal 2, because they said it was 2%. So now what we could do is we're just going to divide each side by 100, because instead of times 100 to get it on the other side, we have to divide by 100. So now it's going to be x over 400 plus x is equal to, and then that would just be 0.02. And now we would just cross multiply. So then we would get, you could think of it as cross multiplying or multiplying each side by 400 plus x, same thing. So then it would be x is equal to 0.02 times 400 plus x. That's supposed to be a 400. I know that kind of looks funky. But then we're going to say that we need to distribute the 0.2 to each of these terms in parentheses. So then when we do that, we're going to get that x is equal to, and then that's going to be wait, hold on, that's 8, and then 0.02x, yeah. 8 plus 0.02x. And then we could say, okay, now we need to get the x's together on one side, so we're going to subtract 0.02x, sorry, from each side. I keep writing the thing in the wrong place. Okay, 0.02x on each side, it's going to cancel out there. And then right over here, this is when we say x, it's the same thing as 1 times x. We just don't write that in math. So we're saying essentially 1 minus 0.02, which is going to be 0.98x, and that's going to equal 8. So then we just have to divide by 0.98 on each side to get x by itself. So then if we divide by 0.98 on each side, we're going to get that x is equal to approximately, I'm going to do the little approximately thing, approximately 8.16. So it would be, let's see, what are the answer choices? So then it would be H. That would be the most that they could add. So then let's go to, I'm glad that it's helping you, Chase, with Algebra 1. Let's go to number 9. It says, if x is greater than 2, then which of the following expressions is equivalent to all of this? So if you look at the answer choices, you see that they had to have factored and canceled something out. So let's try doing that. So let's see, and even if you're bad at factoring, you could also look at the answer choices to see like what are you seeing like recurring as options, to see like what might have been one of the factors that didn't cancel out to kind of help you out there. So the top x squared plus 3x minus 10, if we factor that, that's going to be x plus 5 times x minus 2. And you could check it by foiling it out and seeing that you get that original equation up there, or expression up there. And then on the bottom, we're going to factor that out as well. So x plus 2 times x minus 2 is going to equal that, if we were to FOIL that out. And then you'll see, oh, there's an x minus 2 and an x minus 2 on top and bottom, so those can cancel out. So then we're just left with x plus 5 over x plus 2. So then that's going to be answer choice A. So now let's go to number 10. It says, for the triangle below, the side lengths are given in feet. How many feet long is the hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is the one that's directly across from the right angle. So this side right here we'll call x. So remember, for a right triangle, it's just the legs added and squared equal x squared. So it's going to be 4 squared plus 9 squared is equal to x squared. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, the Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to get that this is 16 plus 81 is equal to x squared. So then that's going to be 97 is equal to x squared. So if we square root each side, that would get x by itself. So we would have the square root of 97 is equal to x. So it would be h.